guys, how are you doing? Amina, first on. Lovely. Chatterjee. I'm gonna have to. Can you phonetically spell out how to spell your first name, just so I can actually start saying it right? Sorry. I think is that your first name, Surasanu? Or maybe if you phonetically spell it like. And you are doing really good, yeah. I haven't actually been on my TikTok yet today, so I'll see the percentage you sent probably after I do my lessons today, if that's all right. Hey Zainab. What's the crack? And it's spelt right. Good on you. No, crack-a-doodle-doo is not a thing. Nope. How's everybody else doing? Did you see the guys' results from their A-levels yesterday? The grade boundaries for physics was mad low. Especially when you compare them to chemistry and math, eh? I can't remember the biology ones though. So is everyone 100% set on doing physics for their A-levels then? Have we been convinced that we'll be grand, that we'll do good? Hi Rajan. Amina, not really. Why, what's up? What are you stressing about? Chloe, it depends on your grades. Yeah, to be fair. But Chloe, just know, did you do combined science, Chloe, or triple? Because if you did combined science, even if you got, I don't know, Chloe, what your school needs for you to do physics, but say most schools are kind of like a grade 7. So say your combined science is a grade 6, you can ask your school to get your separate physics grade. And if it's above a 7, you can argue to be in physics still. Physics, math, and chem, a good selection for mechanical engineering. Yeah, Aaron, you probably couldn't pick any better, to be fair. And they'll help each other, like physics and math will help each other a lot. There's a little bit of chemistry in year 13 physics as well, so that'll help a lot. Oh, she got in City London. Oh, good on her. Yeah, Chloe, combined. So do you know how you get a combined grade? So what does your school need for you to do physics, Chloe? So like, you know how you get combined grades? So you might get like a 5-6 or 6-6 or 7-6. So that's all you will get, but your teachers will get a breakdown of what you actually got in your physics part of your combined papers, your chemistry part, combined papers. Yeah, 6-6, right? Which you'll get grand, 100%. You've been chatting on these lessons rightly. I'm from seeing your knowledge here. I don't think you've got any worries. But just for example, say you got a grade 8 in your physics part of your combined science, but you got a grade 5 in your chemistry and a grade 5 in your biology, which brings your average down to 6-6. You will only see the 6-6, but your teachers will be to see that you got an 8 in your physics. So they might still let you into physics because of that, right? Yeah, so I do reply to the messages on TikTok. That's why sometimes there's probably a little bit of delay, because when I grew up, Instagram was the big thing, right? So, well, not really actually, it was Facebook. But when I went to university, Instagram was a big thing. And TikTok's only kind of been around, the last like few years. So I didn't actually have TikTok before I got this job. So it's still I'm still trying to get used to like getting on to TikTok. I'm not gonna lie, I'm an old woman now. I don't even know how to work it, to be fair. I know how to go to my own page and reply to comments. That's about it. Hi Angel. Hi Monkey Pickle Pants. Oh, so it's 11:01, so we'll start now, sure. Okay, so today we're going to do a SUVATs. So SUVATs is like a big part of A-level physics, and it's actually part of the math that I enjoy the most. So we're going to have a go at it today. So just have a go here. Chatterjee, I actually haven't seen your last message in TikTok, but I'll go have a look at it now, sure, while you guys have a go at what's on the board here. So on the slide, sorry. Oh, I've got my volume up. So if you go to question 1 there, it just says, how would you use that graph to give me an equation, like a SUVAT equation to find acceleration? So we did this last day. So have a go at it. How would you find a SUVAT equation? How would you write a SUVAT equation? So like, for example, we know that acceleration is the gradient of that line. So I'm kind of asking you, how would you write the gradient of that line in letters? What would be an equation you could write? Yeah, Amina, perfect. That's all I needed. Yeah. Amina, you're gonna be grand for next year. You have no worries at all. You didn't tell me, Amina, what your problem was with your worry with studying physics next year. Rajan, yep, perfect as well. V minus U over T is A. Yep, perfect. So that's our first equation. So our first equation there is clearly want to find the gradient of this line. Because we learned last day, the gradient of a velocity time graph gives us the acceleration. So if I want to find the acceleration, I find the gradient, which is the height of that line. So the height of that line is V minus U. So V minus U over the base of that line starts at 0, ends at T. So the base of that line is T. So that's our first SUVAT equation that we're going to look at. Okay, and we'll talk about what SUVAT means in a second. You didn't have a triple physics teacher. So you mean like you're not really worried about doing physics for year 12 and 13, you're more worried about your results from GCSEs? And question 2 then is, how would you write an equation then for finding the displacement? It's like the area under the graph. So how would you write an equation for that? Amina, and again, the way you're writing this chat, I don't think you've got any worries about how you did in your physics. And plus your teachers know you, right? So sometimes, even if you don't get the grade, sometimes if you're like super close in the percentages and the grade boundary, it's like 1 mark off, they might still let you in, right? They do have hard rules every school, but it is done on a case by case situation. So just make sure when you get your grades, you go talk to your teachers. But I'm sure you did grand. So how would we write an equation here for displacement? So Chatterjee, we're actually going to talk about the full course at the end of this lesson today for a little bit. So if your parents want to join on for the last 5 minutes, we're going to talk about it a little bit then. So we'll talk about like why I think the main course is good, what price it is compared to other options. That might be good for your parents then. So it'll be the last 5 minutes we'll talk about it. Okay, so how to write an equation? Oh, they're not at home. Well, it's recorded, right? So when we talk about the end, you can just pull up YouTube again and then just skip to the right the last 5 minutes, and then you can like talk with them about it then. Yeah, Rajan. Oh, super close. If you didn't have the plus UT. So some of you are writing some other SUVAT equations, which are really good. V squared minus U squared over 2A is really close to a SUVAT equation. So we're thinking here, we're looking for the area under the graph now, right? So we already have one, A equals V minus U over T. I'm just going to rub this out so we can get our second equation. So we're trying to find displacement. So we know displacement is the area under the graph. So if you look at this here, I've got a trapezium. So you're trying to think about what's the area in math? How do you find the area in math of a trapezium? So you've got one side here with a height of U and one side here with a height of V. And you've got a base here of T. So how do you write that? How would you write displacement is S, because when we talked about last day, we were given S because it's a vector. So displacement is going to be what? What's the equation for displacement using your trapezium area rule? Your trapezium area rule. A plus B over 2 times by the base. Yeah, right? So yeah, so just see what Angel wrote. We're going to do A plus B, so that's one side. One side's got a height of U. B, the second height, so we're going to add it like you just said there, Angel, yeah? We're going to add the second height, which is V. And then we're going to divide it by 2, like you just said. Good job. And you're right, that you're fixed there, Angel. You're going to multiply by height, which is nice. So the height then technically would be the other side T. So yeah, perfect, Lydia. U plus V over 2 times by T. Okay, so this is another SUVAT equation. So just kind of, this was just me trying to show you when we look at the equation, they've all come from the knowledge that we have of our VT graphs. Okay, so now I just want you to practice using those 2 equations. Okay, so it says a ball starts at initial speed of 10. Okay, it accelerates for 2 minutes with an acceleration of 1.5 meters per second squared. Okay, so just a reminder here, remember for GCSE, you wrote meters per second squared, but remember in your A-level physics, we have to use our indices rules. So it's a meter over a second squared, which is why we write it ms to the minus 2, right? Same way in school, 1 over x is x to the minus 1, and 1 over x squared is x to the minus 2, right? So it's your indices rules. So can you find the velocity of the ball after the 2 minutes? Give it a go and pop in the chat. What's the velocity of that ball after 2 minutes? Yeah, Chatterjee. So all through the year, we try to do a TikTok every day. So it'll just be me looking at past paper questions, doing the solution to it on TikTok. It's just a bit different from the full course because you won't get to talk to me personally as much because I will be spending most of my time with the full course kids. But again, we'll talk about it in the last 5 minutes, okay? You would rearrange? Yes, good job. So Lydia says 13 meters per second. Do we agree? Do we disagree? So what we're thinking here, just a reminder. So remember we talked about the alphabet, A, B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. U, V, X, Y, Z, right? U becomes first in the alphabet before V. So U is the first speed, V is the second speed. So U is our initial, I-N-I-T-I-A-L, U is our initial speed, and V is our final speed, okay? So what information are we given here? You were given the initial speed is 10. We were given the acceleration was 1.5. We're given the time, so just some of you might have just missed it here with the 2. So remember, time has to be in the units of seconds. So I think that's why some of the numbers are a bit off. So 2 minutes is actually 120 seconds. So try that in the chat. How would we then find V? Yeah, Rajan, I got the same as you. Good job. So Rajan says it's going to be 190, and thank you for writing it right, meters per second. Fab. So I have U, V, and A, and what we're trying to find here is V, okay? So if I look at my equations, the easiest one to use here is this top one. So what we're going to do is A equals V minus U over T. So 1.5 equals the final speed that we don't know, minus U, we just said is the first or the initial speed, which was 10. And we divide that by the time, which was 120. And then remember, the way to rearrange this is if you divide by 120, the way to get rid of it is that we're going to multiply both sides by 120, right? We do the opposite of it. So when you multiply both sides by 120, you're going to get 1.5 multiplied by 120, gives you 180, is going to equal V minus 10. So in order to find V, we do the opposite. So instead of subtracting 10, we're going to add 10 to both sides. We do the opposite, and that's how we get a final answer of 190 meters per second. Yeah, Amina, beautiful. Okay, so we're just going to rub this out so we have more room. Okay, so the next one there says, how do we find the total displacement? So remember, displacement means S. So how do we use, look at this equation now. How do we use this equation to find what the total displacement is? And then pop that in the chat. So how to find what the total displacement is? So hopefully I think we're going to use U plus V over 2 times by T. And we're saying 0.83. Lydia, again, just be careful. Remember, T has to be 120. Just be careful of that one. We're not using 2, remember. Yeah, you can sub numbers in the graph, or we use this equation, right? So we're trying to find S. Yeah, Rajan, great, good job. So our initial speed, remember, is the first speed. The first speed we were told was 10, plus V, remember, over here is our final speed. The second speed there, the final speed, we just calculated, was 190. We have to divide that by 2, and then multiply by the time, which was 2 minutes, which is 120 seconds. Yeah, Angel, perfect, good job. So now S is going to equal 10 plus 190, which is 200. So 200 divided by 2, multiplied by 120, gives us exactly what we're all saying. Yeah, Amina, good job. So 12 kilometers, right, or 12,000 meters. Yeah, nice. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to practice all these SUVATs and get used to how do you plug the numbers in. So this is pretty good so far. Okay, so I've been saying the word SUVAT a lot, and you're probably like, what am I chatting about, right? So SUVAT is just how we write it out, okay? So you can kind of see like S-U-V-A-T, right? It's called SUVATs. Okay, so they're called SUVATs equations. So all we have to do is remember there's 5 different variables, and that's what the letters we use. So S is always going to stand for displacement. Okay, and the key thing you have to remember here is when we're talking about displacement, we're always talking about how far away you end from where all of that was. Say example, oh, I'm buffering there a little bit, sorry. Say for example, you have a car travels 10 meters forward, he does a U-turn and comes 5, let's say 6 meters backwards. his displacement would end up 4 meters away from where he started. Okay, so displacement is how far away you end up from where you started. Okay, and then remember we said positive numbers are always going to the right, and then our negative numbers will be going to the left. So the final car has a positive 4 meter displacement because he's 4 meters further forward from where he started. Okay, and then another one for displacement, if things go up, we said our positive numbers, and if things go down, we're always going to use negative numbers. Okay, U, we just said, is always our initial speed because it comes first in the alphabet, like U, V, X, Y, Z. V is our final speed because it's the next one in the alphabet. A, we know loads, right? We know that's acceleration. And T, we know loads because it's time. Okay? So these are all your SUVATs. In year 12 and year 13 physics, you do get given them all on your data sheet, right? But having to look at your data sheet is going to take you a bit of time. These ones are actually really easy to learn, okay? So I know that you're probably looking at it now being like, how on earth am I going to learn that? But you learn them easy, right? So I know all of these off by heart, and you will too, by the end of your year 13 year. It's when you learn them all. And the ones I've circled are the ones you use most often, okay? So you'll just be able to round them off eventually. V squared, U squared, 2AS, V equals U plus AT, S equals UT plus half T squared. So for this lesson, because it's new, I'm going to have this little green box up in all the slides, just so you can start looking at them, okay? Okay, so can we have a look at the information and just see how I popped my numbers in, just make sure okay? And then can you tell me in the chat, why did I write this number? Okay, so have a read of the information and then tell me how did I get a negative 0.5? Yeah, Chatterjee, so I'm going to start doing some like YouTube videos as well, which will be free, right? So like you can just go onto YouTube and you can just search some of the topics I do. But we're mainly starting with some year 12, year 13 content. There's also some stuff on Instagram as well. And Facebook. Yeah, Angel and Lydia, Amina, yeah. Yeah, thank you, because it's slowing down, right? So remember, A is acceleration, right? So we're not actually accelerating, we're deaccelerating. So that's why we wrote a negative number, okay? So what we want to do here is find its maximum height. So remember I said in physics, it's really hard for me not to see pictures, okay? Because I think it's just a lot of information sometimes. So I would always just draw pictures, okay? And just get into the hang of doing it. So I've got a skateboarder, he's traveling a straight line up a ramp. He's got constant deceleration, trying to pull him back of 0.5. Mohammed, hello. And it says his velocity at the start is 8, okay? So I've written down U, my initial speed is 8. At maximum height, right? So he's thinking about the skateboarder, he's going up, he's going up, he's going up, he's going to slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. And at some point he'll stop, that final speed there will be 0. And then he'll turn round, right? Because then the gravity will start to pull him back down the slope, okay? So that's how we know the final speed there is 0. And then it says that we're trying to figure out what is that maximum height, right? How far up that slope did he actually get? So if the first thing I'm trying to do is find S, so I'm trying to find S and I have U, V, and A. So I probably write the equation V equals U plus AT. That's the one I always want to start with, okay? But that's not giving me S yet, that's giving me T. So I probably start now trying to find T, okay? So that makes sense, how long the ramp. So V is my final speed, is 0. U is my initial speed, is 8, plus A, I have to remember, is a negative 0.5 multiplied by T. So in the chat, can you pop in what you think the time is? Mohammed, you're from Key Stage 3. This is gonna put you off physics if you're in Key Stage 3. Yeah, bye. I'll see you in. I'll not see you in the Key Stage 3 lessons. Good luck with your chemistry and your biology. Thank you for saying hello, though. Okay, so in the chat, can you figure out what the time is there? Yeah, Lydia, awesome. Good job. Mohammed, thank you. And thank you for the reminder. So if you are here, please do like and subscribe so that you can start to see the videos that I start to post as well. Or give us like a thumbs up, which would be fab. So Lydia, awesome. 16 seconds. Yeah, good job. So what we can see here to rearrange that is I have 0 equals 8 minus 0.5 times T. And then how I learned it is if you take it over the magic bridge, it changes signs. Or you could say add 0.5 T to both sides. So I've got 0.5 T is going to equal 8. So to find T, what I'm going to do is divide both sides by 0.5. So we divide both sides by 0.5, we get a final answer of 1.6 seconds. 1.6, sorry, what Lydia said, 16 seconds. 16 seconds. Okay, so we've got the time, that bit's done. So now I'm going to plug that number in. Time, why am I writing it? Time is 16 seconds. Now we're trying to find out how high up the ramp you can go. So can you give it a go yourself? So look at our equations here for our SUVATs. So we've just used this one to figure out the time. What is the S? See if we can figure out what is the S. No, Chatterjee, the questions are good. How to go from 40% to 90%. So Chatterjee, I know you're on your year 12 lessons right now, but you know there's the GCSE lessons. Those ones would be more beneficial for you. And it's all about the math. It's all about remembering those equations. So in your physics GCSE, it's if you look at the paper, it's barely any rote learning. It's just equations, equations, equations in units. Okay, Lydia says 64 meters. Angel says 64 meters. And I also got 64 meters. Yeah, fab, good on you. So the one I probably would have used was this one. So S equals U plus V over 2 multiplied by T. So U is my initial speed, so we said that was 8. V is my final speed, we said was 0, divided by 2. And the time, we just calculated was 16. So 8 plus 0 is just 8, divided by 2 is 4. So just do 4 times 16 to give me a final answer of 64 meters. Grand. Yeah, that was good. So we're just going to keep repeating that. Chatterjee, it depends. So let me just give me 2 secs. So just for everybody else here, before I pop it in myself, can you pop in the numbers you're going to use for SUVATs? And then can you tell me the speed of the particle at 6 seconds? So you're trying to find what V is. So give it a go. Let's go in the chat. So first what we're going to do is you're going to write SUVAT, fill in the numbers that you're given. And then when you fill in the numbers you're given, you think about which one of these equations is going to be the easiest one to help calculate what V is. And then pop in the chat. Chatterjee, grade 9, it depends on your school, right? If you have a great physics teacher and you love them and you have really good times there, you're going to get a grade 9, right? But unfortunately, there's a lot of schools in the UK who don't have physics teachers, right? They have someone who studied biology at university teaching physics, or someone who studied chemistry at university teaching physics, or they just didn't go on their physics teachers, right? And if you're someone who's very motivated yourself and you find it very easy just to keep revising and keep studying, and you've always got grade 9s, I'm 100% sure like you're one of those wee stars, right? You'd be great. However, if you're someone that needs someone to motivate them, you need someone to explain things a little bit slower. Maybe you're in class and everybody's always chatting all the time or being silly or throwing things around the room, which we all know happens, or on their mobile, and you can't hear the teacher, then this is why we set this up, right? Because school right now is a very difficult place to learn because of all the external things that are happening. So Lydia says we're going to use V equals U plus AT. I would agree. Yeah, go for it. So just fill the numbers here. So it says a particle is moving in a straight line with a constant acceleration of 3. So A is 3. It says at time 0, so at the very start, the initial speed is 2. So at the very start, the initial speed is 2. So use 2. We're given the time is 6 seconds later. I want to know what V is. Okay, so 6 layers, I want what V is. So Lydia says we're going to use V equals U plus AT. I agree. That's probably the easiest one to use. Okay, so final speed equals the initial speed, which is 2, plus the acceleration is 3, multiplied by the time is 6. So pop in the chat what you get there for your final speed. So we're getting our final speed. So we're thinking 2 plus 18 hopefully gives us, Lydia, you're so close, it's just the units. Angel, just check your math a little bit there. Aaron, yeah, good job, right? It's speed, so 20. So Lydia, just so you know, you would have got marks for the 20. It's just because you wrote the meters, ms minus 2, that's for acceleration. This one's ms the minus 2. But speed is just ms the minus 1, or meters per second. Yeah? Yeah, good fix, Lydia. Yeah, good job. So 20 meters per second, first one's done. So I'm going to fill in that number now because I know it. So instead of having a question mark there, I'm going to edit my test or edit my answer and write 20 in there because now I know it's 20. So now what we're trying to find out is S. So have a look at your SUVATs and which one of these is going to be the easiest to use to figure out what S is, and then pop in the chat. So which is the easiest one to use to find S, and then pop in the chat. Chatterjee, give me to the last 5 minutes because you've been on the summer course, they're going to offer a discount to people who's been on the summer course, and I'm going to show you like how the prices vary compared to tutor, right? Because tutoring is really expensive. Like I couldn't afford a tutor when I was your guys' age. That's why this has been set up, because we're trying to help you guys out. So there is a discount code because you've been on the summer school. So I'll show you all that at the end. Yeah, Arian, I would agree. That's probably the easiest one. Amina, the one that starts with S, is displacement, right? So little d we use for distance, the scalar, and then displacement, the one that's like how far away you are from where you start, that's S. Okay, displacement is an S. Yeah, Angel, good on you. Well, I got 64, but maybe we just plugged in. Oh no, Angel, I got 66 too. You're 100% right. Good job. So it's 66 meters. So you look at it, S equals U plus V over 2 times by T. So our initial speed, we were told, was 2. Our final speed, we just calculated, was 20. We divide it by 2, and then we multiply by the time, which we just calculated. No, we didn't. We were given the time, I apologize, was 6. So we do 2 plus 20 over 2 times 6, and we should get 66 meters. Nice. Yeah, 66 meters. Good job. Yeah, Chargy, I think you just missed it a little bit because you were talking about the course, but we are going to talk about it at the end, so don't worry about it. We're going to talk all about it at the end. So we use the letters depending on what it says. So T, time is 6. A, acceleration, is 3. Then remember we said U comes before V in the alphabet. So U is the initial speed, V is the final speed, and then displacement, I think it was, someone asked me there a second ago about what displacement was. Remember, D is distance, so S is your displacement. S is your displacement. Arian, 66 meters, awesome. Yeah, Amina, 60 meters, easy, good job. So hopefully when you look at S, there's actually loads of them you can use. So you can do the one that Lydia said here, or I actually used this one when I was trying to figure it out. So you can use any one you want, you'll still get the same final answer. And hopefully a lot of you saw that. Just you have to make sure you plug in the numbers the right way. Yeah. Okay, next one. Okay, so see if you can fill out your SUVAT yourself. So S-U-V-A-T, SUVAT. First thing you want to do is your test or your class, you're going to fill in what those numbers are. Once you fill the numbers in, we were trying to figure out how long it takes, that's a time. So then once you fill your numbers in, you see which one of these equations is the easiest thing I could use to find time. And then pop in the chat. So which one would be the easiest one to use to find time? And then pop in the chat. A is -4. -4. You're right, it's negative. Yeah, Angel, yeah. -0.4. Good job. So nicely spotted that out. So if we look at here, so again, remember, draw a picture. We've got a skier. It's going up a hill. So imagine going up a hill. So like, I suppose if you're skiing, it's a lot more steeper. A skier is going up a hill. They experience a constant deceleration, right? Because remember, as they're going up the hill, gravity's trying to pull them back down. So they go slower, 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 and eventually they'll end up stopping somewhere, final speed is 0, before gravity starts to pull them back down the slope. So it told us that at time 0, so our initial speed is 16. Final speed, it told us, is 0, right? Because it's going to slow down, trying to figure out how high up they can go. So what's the maximum height they can get before they stop? So what time is it to get there? And then what is S? So give it a go. So which was the easiest equation here first to find time? Matrid, you're key stage free and you've been in here the whole time. If you're in key stage free and you've learned how to do SUVAT equations, you're killing it. But yeah, I'm not doing, remember we finished our key stage free physics lessons, but I appreciate you came on to say hello. Amina, awesome, beautiful. Yeah, I got 40 seconds too. Good job. Yeah, see, Amina, you've got no stress about your results next week. Yeah, Philip, that's exactly what I do. U is 16, the initial speed, nice, and V, the final speed, is 0. Angel, yeah, that's what I would use too. V equals U plus AT. So our final speed is 0 equals our initial speed, which was 16, plus A, remember we said is negative 0.4, times by whatever our time is. So if I look at this now, I've got 0 equals 16, a plus and a minus gives me a negative 0.4 times by t. I take it over the magic bridge, it becomes positive, so 0.4 times by t equals 16. So just to get t by itself, I have to divide both sides by 0.4. So when I plug 0.4, 16 divided by 0.4 on my calculator, we get 40 seconds. 40 seconds. Nice. Okay. Chatterjee, when you'll see what, sorry. So now give a go at S. So how high up can they get? So we just figured out T is 40. So now we have all information but S. So which equation is the easiest one to help us figure out what S is, the displacement? So what S is the displacement? And Chatterjee, right? I'm not a school teacher anymore. I don't have to worry about the mess anymore. I'm just broke. The fourth one. So to find S, the fourth one, I would probably do, yeah, U plus V over 2 times T is probably the easiest one to plug the numbers into, isn't it? Yeah, Amina, I agree, yeah. So our initial speed, we just said was 16. Our final speed, we just said was 0. We have to divide that by 2 and multiply by the time that we just calculated here, 40. So 16 plus 0 is just 16, divided by 2 is 8. 8 times by 40 gives us a final answer of 320 meters. 320 meters. Yeah, Chatterjee, awesome. Good on you. 320 meters. Yeah, 320 meters. Lydia, awesome. Nice, Angel, good job. Yeah. See, it's quite a nice wee topic, isn't it? It's just like plug in the numbers, just make sure you don't forget your negative and positives. Because who was it pointed out a while ago? Yeah, Angel. So do you see how Angel pointed out to everyone we had to use A as negative 0.4? If you didn't use a negative 0.4 here, you'd end up with the wrong answer. So that's where everyone really goes wrong. Everyone's kind of learns the equations quite well, but the problem is not remembering to put the negative and positives in because they do change your final answers. CFK, hello, I haven't seen you yet. Yeah, good job. Adam, I haven't seen you yet either. Good on you. Chatterjee, even I can do it. What do you mean? You're putting yourself down here a little bit. Okay, next one. Okay, so again, fill out your SUVATs, S-U-V-A-T, that's the first step. Fill out what you know. Just remember, positive, negatives matter. CFK, linger in the shadows. Rajan, it kind of depends, to be honest. So I don't know, you guys wouldn't have. So do you know how in GCSE, all of your, there's like, well, for you guys, you did triple and combined. There's no multiple choice. Year 12 and year 13, your A-level papers for AQA are different, right? So, and there is multiple choice in OCR as well. At the end of the paper, there's roughly like 18 multiple choice questions, and they're only worth 1 mark. And that's mostly where you find these. There's sometimes you'll find them at the front of the paper and the very first question, and it's around 3 or 4 marks. But that's quite rare. Most of the time, they just load these all up onto the back of the paper. But there's 18 to 20 multiple choice questions, right? All worth 1 mark. So if you only get all your multiple choice questions right, and the paper's out of 70, you're still sitting on a grade. What's that? 20 divided by 70. Let's say it's out of 20. 20 divided by 70 gives you a percentage of 26%. Like you've still basically sitting on a grade C. Well, DC. But then if you do that on all of your papers, because the grade binders have been quite low the last few years for physics. Okay, Angel says 360 and 15 seconds. What did I get? I got 360 for S. Yeah, good job. So S is 360. Yep. time is 15 seconds. Yeah. Okay, so again, I would draw it out. So we've got a car. It says it accelerates uniformly. We're traveling on a straight road. Car passes 2 signposts. So I'm probably just going to draw my 2 signposts. The 2 signposts are 360 meters apart. So that's how we figured out what Angel said there. S is 360. It takes 15 seconds from to get one to the other. So same Angel said, we know time is 15. It says when passing the second signpost, so this one, when they go here, that's 25. So yeah, Angel, good job. So our final speed, because it's the second signpost, our final speed is 25. Nice. So now it says find the speed of the car at the first signpost. So we're trying to find what U is. So we're trying to find out what U is. And then it says we also want to find what the acceleration is. Okay? So look what you're given. You've got S, you've got V, and you've got T. What's got S, V, and T in it that makes it easy for you to find out what U is? Tell G, I actually have a GCSE lesson straight after this. So I can't, sorry. But we're going to talk, remember, we're going to talk about 5 minutes at the end about the course next year. Aaron, you got 23. I got 23 too. Yes, good job. Yeah, nice, Aaron. Straight on it. So 23 meters per second is fab. Yeah. Okay, so what I would have done is same what Philip said there. S equals U plus V over 2 times T, same as Amina. So S, we know is 360, that's our distance. Equals U, we don't know because we're trying to find it out. Plus V, we were told was 25, the second speed. All divided by 2, and then all multiplied by time, which was 15. Okay? So first thing I would do, instead of multiplying by 15, I would get rid of that by dividing both sides by 15. So we divide both sides by 15, you're going to end up with 48 equals U plus 25 over 2. And then again, instead of dividing by 2, we want to get rid of that first, right? So what we could do is multiply both sides by 2. So I would do 48 times by 2. Wait, did I mess up my math there? I think I did. 360 divided by 15 is 24. Why did I write 48 there? Sorry. Is 24. And then what we just said there is we're going to multiply both sides by 2. So you multiply both sides by 2, you get 48. Yeah, Amina, thanks for fixing that. So you multiply both sides by 2 to get rid of that 2 in the bottom. So 24 times 2 is 48. So 48 is U plus 25. So 48 is something plus 25. To find what that something is, we do the opposite. So either subtract 25 from both sides, or what I did was you take over the magic bridge and it becomes negative. So 48 minus 25 equals U. So that's how we get Amina, perfect. So we get a final answer of 23 meters per second. Same thing that Aaron said there. 23 meters per second. Aran, maybe, sorry. Okay, so we got U. Okay, so now the next thing is we want to find what A is. So how to find A? So we can take our question mark for U now because we know it. So we have everything now, we just want to find A. So look up here to figure out what's the easiest way for you to find A. Pop your numbers in and pop your answer in the chat. So what do you get the acceleration to be? So what do you get the acceleration to be? Oh. What do you get the acceleration to be? Yeah, Lydia, I like yours. V minus U over T. So final speed, we're told at the start was 25 when it passed the second signpost. U, we just calculated, was 23, going for us the first signpost. So 25 minus 23, divided by the time taken beneath them was 15. So acceleration is 2 over 15. So pop your final answer in the chat. Yeah, Aran, yeah, awesome. So all we have to do is 2 divided by 15, and I got same as you, 0.13 recurring. You can write that in physics. So what it really is 0.133333, which is 0.13 meters per second squared. Meters per second squared. Yeah, nice. Nice, Aaron, nice, Lydia. Yeah, easy. Amina, nice. Angel, nice. Yeah, good on yous. Chatter G, my head space. Okay, next one. So now we're going to get a little bit harder, but when I say little, I mean minor harder. Okay, so this one says, a ball is projected vertically upwards from the ground with a speed of 12. Okay, so I've got someone holding a ball. They project the ball vertically upwards, and we know what goes up has to come back down, right? So that's the shape, the path the ball will take in motion. So it says the initial speed, the first speed the ball gets fired up with is 12. We're going to find the maximum height of the ball. Okay, so I've got some things here that are really important that you have to remember when you do these SUVATs. At maximum height, right here, that final speed there is 0. Makes sense, right? Because when we talked about our skateboard there, or skier, we know as the ball gets thrown up, and we did this on our velocity time graphs, as the ball gets thrown up, it slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, slows down, and eventually it stops moving, and then it turns around and speeds up on the way back down. So at maximum height here, that's how we know the final speed is 0. Okay? Next thing you have to remember is when I throw a ball up in the air, as soon as I let go of that ball, nothing's in contact with it at all, right? So there might be some air particles hitting it, just try to slow it down. But in these questions, we always assume we're going to ignore air resistance. So ignore it. So if we ignore air resistance, the only force acting on the ball, since I let go of it, is gravity trying to pull that ball right back down, right? The only thing acting on it is gravity trying to pull it back down. And we know the acceleration due to gravity that you did all the way through school was always 9.8 is what you used in your GCSEs, okay? But exactly what Chatterjee said, because it's a down, remember we said our directions matter in year 12 and year 13. So because it's down, we're not going to use 9.8, we're going to use negative 9.8. And in A-level physics, you don't use 9.8 anymore, you have to use negative 9.81, okay? So A-level physics, our acceleration due to gravity, because it's downwards, that's why I give it a negative number to show it's down, and we use 9.81 all the time now, you don't use 9.8, okay? So when I fill out my SUVATs, S-U-V-A-T, we're told the initial speed was 12, maximum height, the final speed is 0, acceleration, because it's down, is negative 9.81, and we're trying to find out what S is at maximum height, and we're trying to find out what T is, the time of flight. So now that you know what we have, can you figure out what SUVAT we're going to use to find S and T? And then pop in the chat. So what SUVAT are we going to use to find S and T, and then pop in the chat? Okay, Lydia, yeah, we've not used that one there. I like that one too. V squared equals U squared plus 2AS. So I actually use this one the most. I don't know why I like it so much. I just find it an easy one to plug numbers in. And like you just said, so V is, or Rajan, V equals, yeah. So Rajan, you said V equals U plus AT. That's also fine because we have V, we have U, we have A. So this equation, Rajan, is going to give us T. And the equation that Lydia said is going to give us S. So we're going to use both of them, right? Because we've got to use both of them at some point. Philip, you got 7.3. Yeah, Philip, easy, nice. So Philip says it's going to be 7.3. Good job. And then just 2 decimal places is always safest. So it doesn't specify. Always try to do 2 decimal places. It's always just safest. Yeah, Adam, 7.3. Good job. So if we're trying to pop our numbers in here, final speed is 0. So 0 squared equals U, our initial speed, we said was 12, but square it, plus 2 times A, be careful, remember it's negative 9.81, times by S, okay? So what I have now is 0 squared is 0, 12 squared is 144, plus 2 times negative 9.81. So when I do 2 times 9.81 on my calculator, because it's negative 9.81, I get negative 19.62 times by S, okay? So remember, if positive and negative just makes negative, so 0 is 144, Amina, beautiful, minus 19.62S. And remember what we want to do, if you take over the magic bridge, it becomes positive. So 19.62S equals 144. So to find S, all we have to do is divide both sides by that 19.62. So I do 144 divided by 19.62. I get a final answer of exactly what everyone said, 7.3. Remember, 2 decimal places safest. So my calculator says 7.3394. So 2 decimal places with 7.34 meters. Yeah, nice. So 7.3 is right. Like, I'm not saying it's wrong. It is right. I'm just saying it's safer to get in the hang of doing 2 decimal places. Yeah, Chatterjee, the Badger Bridge. That's how I learned it in school. That's how I think my math teacher taught us that. Kumar, you're from India. You're in India right now. That's really cool. Have you learned this stuff yet in India? Okay, so can we use the other one then that Rajan popped in to find the time now and then pop in the chat? So use the one that Rajan popped in to find what the time is. So how do we find the time? No, but I went to university in America. So I went to Michigan State, which is in America, and it's right on the, Michigan is on the border with Canada, and my best mate was Canadian. So I do have a bit of a weird accent because I spent like 4 years with her every minute of every day. So she kind of rubbed off me a little bit. So yeah, I've been to Canada a lot and I have some of her words rubbed off. I think that's why I say water weird. It's because of her. Lydia, 1.22 seconds is awesome. Yeah, good on you. And there, see the awesome? I'm trying to get rid of that, but it's still there. 1.22 seconds. Yeah, fab. So we do V, our final speed was 0. U, our initial speed was 12. Add A, but remember because it's down, negative 9.81 times by our time that we just have here. Oh no, time we're trying to find, sorry. I popped in Lydia's answer. Time we're trying to find. So what I have here, 0 equals 12 plus and minus makes a negative 9.81 times t. Take it over the magic bridge, it becomes positive. So 9.81 t equals 12. So in order to find t, all we have to do is divide both sides by 12. So when I divide both sides by 12 to figure out what, divide both sides by 12, sorry. To find t by itself, I want to get rid of that 9.81. So I divide both sides by 9.81 to get a final answer of 1.22 seconds. So just pop in the chat if you're good with what Lydia got there. 1.22 seconds. And you wouldn't have got 1.22 if you forgot that that was a negative 9.81. So just always be careful of that. So 1.22 seconds is the time it took to get from the bottom right to the top. So that's 1.22 seconds. And we figured out the height, the maximum height of that ball was 7.3 meters. 7.3 meters. And Chatterjee, she's missing you, Gurg. Rajan, we're good. Amina, we're good. Yes, thank you for the pluses. Good job. Right, easy. So we'll go on to the next one. Okay, so this time we've got a bird. So remember, draw a picture because it helps you out, and then fill in your SUVATs. So see if you can do that yourself. Fill in your SUVATs. And then once you fill in your SUVATs, we're trying to figure out time, and we're trying to figure out the final speed. Okay, so we must know S, U, and A from the information that we're given. So just pop your numbers in. Monkey pickup hats. Yeah, Garrick's here. Okay, so what I would do was draw a diagram first. So I got a bird. It says it drops a stone from a height of 88 meters above pond. There's my pond. We know that height there is 88 meters. It says the initial vertical velocity of the bird and the stone was 0. So remember, it's dropping the stone down, and its first speed is 0, and it's going down 88 meters. Yeah, so Philip, be careful with the 88, right? And the A. So it's, remember, the ball's always going down. So think about how the numbers become if it's always going down. Yeah, Rajan, thank you. So A is negative 9.81 because gravity always pulls things down. And then S, do we use 88? So remember, down is negative. So hopefully you're thinking, we don't use positive 88, I have to use negative 88, right? Because we take down as positive. We take down as negative. If I was to use a positive number, that'd be like the bird, I don't know, like spitting, or I don't know, birds can't throw things up, but let's say the bird like spat it up or something. So that would be a positive 88 meters if it went up, but it didn't go up, it went down. So that's why I have to use the negative 88. Okay, initial speed it told us was 0. Okay, so now how do we use those numbers to find V and T? So we're trying to find V and T. So Lydia wants to use S equals UT plus a half of AT squared. Yep, I like that one. So S is negative 88 because it's down, equals U is 0, so 0 times T, so we're around T, plus a half of A, which is negative 9.81 because it's down, times by T squared. And then hopefully you can see what Lydia was saying. That's a nice one because 0t is just 0, right? So now I've got negative 88 is a half of negative 9.81 times by t squared. So can you finish that math off there? Just tell us what t is. So finish the math off there. Tell us what t is. So you can finish the math off to see what t is. So hopefully we're doing 4.24 seconds. Is that what I got? Bear with. Yeah, Lydia, good on you. Yes, 4.24 seconds. Good job. Yeah. So I got is negative 88 equals a half of negative 9.81. So 9.81 divided by 2 gives me negative 4.905 times by t squared. How'd you get half? Because just it's from the equation here. Do you see it? S equals ut plus a half of at squared. See it? So just Angel. So another way of writing that out is S equals ut plus a half all times at squared. I just think that's an easier way of writing it rather than at squared over 2. So it's just a half of at squared. And this equation comes from this equation combined with this equation. So if you substitute that equation into there, that's where this one comes from. Yeah. Okay, so what we're saying is minus 88 is minus 4.905 times t squared. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4.905 to see what t squared is. And hopefully we got t squared comes out at 17.94. So to find t, I just have to hit the square root of that answer. And that's why I got the same answer as Lydia, which was 4.24 seconds. 4.24 seconds. Okay, so now we know t, 4.24. Yeah, Amina, which part? So, Amina, tell me what part, and then if you're okay with a 4.24, see if you can figure out now what v is. So what's v? Okay, so everything. So we'll do it again. Yep, that's great, we'll do it again. And I think it's mainly, remember that the negatives are throwing people off, okay? So just to make sure we're okay with my diagram. So got a bird, he drops a stone. So remember, if things go up, that's positive numbers, that'd be positive 88. But it's not going up, the stone's going down. That's why we had to use S is negative 88, right? Because it's going down. U is the initial speed, and it told us the initial speed was 0, so 0. V is the final speed, so when it hits the ground here, what speed's it going at? We don't know. A, remember acceleration due to gravity, A pulls things down because A is down, that's why it's negative 9.81. And T is the time it takes to hit that pond, I don't know it. So what we had to do was figure out, how can we figure out what these things are with using one of these SUVATs? So what we said was the easiest way to find T here would be use S equals UT plus a half of AT squared, because we're using this equation. U, we just said was 0. So remember, if we have 0 multiplied by t, 0 times t just becomes 0, like 0 times 5 is 0. So S, I said, was negative 88 equals 1/2 times by A, which is negative 9.81, times by t squared. We're trying to find what t is. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, first thing I did was I took a half times the negative 9.81. So my calculator, I have negative 88 now. I just take a half of negative 9.81. My calculator said that's negative 4.905, all times t squared. So I just want the t squared. To get rid of this, we divide both sides by negative 4.905. So I've got negative 88 divided by negative 4.905. When I divide those two numbers together, I get 17.94, right? Because a negative times a negative, they will cancel and give you a positive number. So you calculate every time negative 88, divide it by negative 4.905, you get 17.94. That's t squared. To find t, I have to take the square root of that number. To the square root of that number, you get 4.24 seconds. So 4.24 seconds. So Mina, tell me if we're good there or where I've lost you. You're good? Oh, happy days. Did someone from GCSE just come on there for a hot sec? So yeah, we're at 51, we got time. Okay, and then I think we'll end with this one. So last bit there is, now we know T, can you figure out what V is? So just change colors so we can see where my math is going from. So can we now figure out what V is? What is the speed when it hits the ground? So remember your negatives and positives. So it's the speed when it hits the ground. Yep, I agree, Philip. I probably do U plus AT. Rajan, good on you. Thank you for putting a negative in, right? And hopefully everyone's okay with why it's a negative, right? Because if it's fallen down, right, it's going down. That's why it had to be a negative number. So it's like a sense check. So they just be careful, right? Remember, it's going down the way. So 41.55 would be like a positive number. So 41.55 would tell me it's going up the way. But it's negative, right? Because it's going down. Chatterjee, I didn't see what your question was there. Okay, so final speed, I'm trying to figure out, is our initial speed. So our initial speed was 0 plus A is negative 9.81 times by T is 4.24. So hopefully V is 0 plus something, it's just the same thing. So negative 9.81 times by 4.24. And because we're multiplying by a negative number, that's why we end up with a negative number, which is negative, what do we say? 41.6. Negative 41.6 meters per second. So thank you for the units there, Mina. Yeah, good on yous. Yeah, Chatterjee, I know you're popping in the chat, but I just see you write my name. I don't see the question. Okay, so we have roughly about 4 more minutes of the lesson. So there was 2 more questions in the work pack. So I think it'd be good if you have a go at them. And then our next lesson, which is on Tuesday, you can tell me at the start of the lesson what answers you got, and I can tell you if you're right or wrong, yeah? I remember there's always that homework there with the video solutions, so hopefully they'll help you guys out. So if you have a go at this slide, and then if you just write your answers down, so you have them on Tuesday, and then if you want to tell me your answers, I can tell you if you're right or wrong. But if you don't do anything, maybe just have a go at this one, yeah? Okay, so will you do a lesson next week, Thursday or Friday? Yeah, so next week will be Tuesday and Thursday, just like normal. So always be Tuesday, Thursday. This week was just Friday today, remember, because I had to go in yesterday for results day for the year 13s. Yeah. Okay, for the last few minutes, I said I want to talk about the course, okay? So you guys have had the summer school, and it's trying to give you like a taster of what the course would be like through the year, okay? So you like our merch? You see my face top? Yeah, trying to get some color in today. Okay, so the full course, how it works is there'll be 80 lessons. So say you do the year 12 course with me, there'll be 80 lessons for the year, and you always will have your lesson with me. Then you'll always have access to the lesson later on in case you missed the lesson. Maybe you have like a sports event on. There always will be the work pack that's made and gets sent to you, is put online, so you can download a work pack to complete, same way you're doing with summer school. You will also have homeworks and then video solutions from the homeworks. So you get quite a lot of access to things. And the reason we do it, the reason we set up MySpace is because a load of people in school now have tutors, right? And that's why they're getting really good grades, because they have the tutors. But it's really unfair because those families can afford tutors. And there's just examples of some people that do tutoring in London and it costs a bomb, right? So I used to be a tutor when I was a teacher, and I charged £60 an hour, okay? And it's because being a teacher is hard work, right? So tutoring is like extra money on the side. Right, so it is a lot of money. So roughly, if you have a private tutor, you're kind of spending $4,800 a year just on a tutor, right? Which is a lot of money for any family to fork out. So, and the problems with tutor is, and I did this when I was a tutor, I don't really prepare for it, right? I kind of just went online to the tutor or went to the tutoring session, and most of the tutoring is online. It's not even one-to-one, right, anymore. So it is very similar to this. But you might not even be taught by a physicist. You might be taught by someone who does math or someone who does chemistry, right? So that's why MySpace was set up, trying to like help out, make this a bit more fair. So instead of it being $44,800 for a full year, we're trying to offer it for much cheaper, right? So we're giving it to you for like £700 to £900, so 5 times cheaper. So we're trying to make it more fair that more people can get access to tutors. And the price varies a little bit depending on the course, okay? So because you did summer school, we're giving you guys an offer. So there should be a link on the bottom of this YouTube page, it's in the description, and there's a number there that you can contact on WhatsApp. So instead of it costing you £700 to £900, it's going to cost you £400 to like £600, depending on the subject. Okay, so just if you are interested in it, make sure that you tell your parents about it so they have that option, they can get that discount, right? So how it works out then, you get a 14-day refund. which is amazing, right? So say you sign up for it, you pay it, you do 2 weeks of the course and you think it's not for me, they're going to give you a full refund. So there's no risk at doing it, right? It's not like you pay £400 and then 2 days later you hate it. Okay, you have the chance to sign out, but hopefully you won't hate it because you'll be with me, right? And the £400, I know you might think is a lot, but that's for the full year. So for the full year of £400, it works out like £3 a lesson. So you get an hour lesson for like £3 or £4. Whereas you would be paying an hour lesson, which is, I used to charge £60, right? Yeah, I mean, so you can pay the full thing on a go, or you can pay like in installments, so like separate installments for the year. Yeah, so Chatterjee, it depends. It's different for GCSEs, right? But for a year 12 tutor, it's £70 an hour. So this is like trying to make it more fair. So instead of paying £70 an hour, it's only works out at £4 an hour, because you have 80 hours of lessons and you have the homeworks. What we're saying, and then just in case you didn't know about the other teachers, which you probably do, those you've probably seen them like TikTok and Instagram. So you've got Laura, who's doing biology, you've got chemistry with LaJoy, you've got Dario, who's doing some math, and he does some GCSE physics. Okay, so there's also cram course lessons for you, which is, again, we're giving you offers for summer school. Okay, so this is just an example here of the schedule, so how lessons would look. So you can see with me for the year, obviously all the classes have to be later in the day, right? Because you got school. So if you look at it here, physics with me will always be from 5:40 to 6:40 on Wednesdays and Fridays for year 12 physics. And then you can see where chemistry is, where biology is, where math is. Okay, so I'm going to be here for like another minute if you've got any questions before I tab out to my GCSE lesson. Aran, to take free courses. Yeah, I'll just go back there a little sec. Sorry, I skipped that a little bit. If you do the free courses, it's this price. But remember, there's the discount from WhatsApp. So it won't be that's the full price. There's a discount from WhatsApp. So again, it's 14-day free trial. So you talk to your parents about it, talk to your family about it, see how you feel. And again, it's just, I think it's good for physics because, like I said, there's so many schools who don't have physics teachers anymore. So it's a good option for you guys because, yeah, there's barely any physics teachers, which is sad, but that's just the way it is. But Monkey Pickle Pants, your full course for math, bio, and physics. Monkey Pickle Pants, yes, fab. So I'll see you next year. A video on Transformers for TikTok. Send me a reminder, Chatterjee, on TikTok. Like send me a message TikTok, and I won't be able to do it this week, but I can get it done for next week. So just send me a reminder on TikTok. Make a movie on Transformers. That movie's old now, Transformers, isn't it? The first one was great. I think the other ones were a bit rubbish, weren't they? They kind of overdid it with Transformers, in my opinion. But anyway, so I hope to see you guys in the full course. And then again, you've got a few more lessons with me, right? I've got like 4 more lessons to see how you feel about it. Yeah? So just remember to check out WhatsApp and let your families know about it. But we're done for today. Yeah, you got chemistry, I got GCSE. So got to go today. So have a lovely day. And yeah, just message me on TikTok or Instagram if you got any questions. And you guys are great. So thanks for like always popping in the chat and let me know how you're feeling. Okay, have a lovely day.